Hey, hi everyone. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Ipswich 1. 3 wins in a row. Yes, another match review. So I got straight into it right there. So let's first talk about the starting lineup. So we had a back line of Vicario, Gray, Danso, and surprisingly, very surprisingly, I was very shocked about this, Spence and Adoji. And also on the right, as in Spence was on the right hand side and in the right position for the first time in like fucking 12 months. Um, yeah. Um, Midfield was Bentancur, Bergval, and Kulusevski. So he finally moved Kulusevski back into the middle. Johnson played on the right. Son on the left, of course. Son's going to play on the left regardless of whatever situation we're in. And Tell up front. So let's talk about it. Johnson got 2 goals in the first half. And Spurs went into the break 2-0. Um, you know, Ipswich get a goal back from, I think, Murray Hutchinson. And Spurs were kind of asking for it to concede the goal. The way we were playing, we were just asking to concede a goal. And for long periods of that game, probably about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, Ipswich had a disallowed goal as well. We kind of just invited pressure on ourselves. But yeah, Spence got the goal, probably deserved based on his, he's probably been our best player the past 2-3 months, Spence. Finally gets some reward for it, I guess. Deflection, Spurs go 3-1. And of course, Ipswich are piling even more players forward, and we get the 4th goal with Kulusevski, which was a nice cut in off the right, because later in the game, he moved Kulusevski back onto the right. And for the first time in flipping again, like 12 months, we benefited from Kulusevski cutting in off the left when he played on the right wing. But since then, I've not seen anything. But we got the 4-1 win, kind of a bit of revenge for the 2-1 that we lost at home. And, let's just talk about some players. Danso, again, he played another good game. There's some instances where I don't really like when he goes forward too much, because I'm like, you're going to need to recover in like 5 minutes, mate. Like, why are you going forward so much? Kulusevski was, again, I think personally Kulusevski played well in the 10 today. Bentancur, he's our best option as a deep line player, because the thing with him is at least his ball retention is like kind of good enough. But you also have to look in mind of what kind of opposition we've been playing the past few games that we've been winning as well. Like Ipswich are still in the bottom 3. Yes, they beat us earlier in the season, but it's very Tottenham for that to happen anyway. And the front line, Son, he got a couple of assists, or I got 1 assist. But yeah, he was all right, I guess, but nothing, his problem is with us, right, is like at Son's position, and the options are, apart from him, at Odobert, who I know he came on later in the game, and I'm not seeing anything special from him either. And then you've got Werner, who's hopefully, fingers crossed, won't be here next season. Mikey Moore, who seems very reluctant to play, even though I think he's got enough first team now where I think I'd probably start him and bring Son later on, because now I see where Son gets taken off on the hour, on the 45. Depends, do you want to get the best out of Son in the first, when you're in the beginnings of the games or at the end of the game. You're going to have to make a decision. I know Johnson's got his 2 goals, but apart from that, he did nothing again. It's the same old story, really. I think no difference is because a lot of people see this run of the 3 wins and say Spurs are back, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, to me, it kind of in some way shows that we can't really compete in 4 competitions at the same time, because apart from the fact the injuries pile up because you play more football and it just happens, right? It's just you play more sport, you get more injuries. It comes just probabilities, right? Not just the fact that Ange caused half of them anyway, but that's another debate for another day. But like for me, we won 3 in a row. The teams we beat weren't like that amazing. I mean, the Brentford game was kind of like a bit of a hash, really. I know we won 2-0, but it was a bit of a hashed win. The United game was just the fact we were just a bit better than one of the worst United teams I've seen in like 20 years. And today, again, we played a relegation threatened team and we won. Yeah, great, 3 wins in a row. But do I think we can turn a corner? Do I think suddenly we're going to be like winning the Europa League based on this? Not really, no. But I'm just counting down the time to get 40 points to make sure that I don't just sitting there worrying in the run-in that we might get relegated. But I think from now, we'll probably be all right. 2 more wins. I'm sure we'll get 2 more wins in the next like 12 games. That's what, 1 in 6. Like we're going to stay up, right? Basically, we're staying up. So that's the only that positive thing, I guess. But like for me, in terms of like, the overall looking at the bigger picture, like to me, it kind of shows we can't contend with 4 competitions, which Ange said apparently the squad was good enough to do. And then there were a lot of instances also in today's game where I was not comfortable. We're still taking more risks out the back than we are up front, which makes no bloody sense anyway, if you think about it. And it's just, and then he doesn't, we just kind of guess the quality of compared to us and Ipswich shone through in the end, I guess, because we do have better quality players than Ipswich. Like, come on, let's be real. And the quality is so big where if we didn't score and win the game, I'd be quite surprised. I thought we might draw because Ipswich need the points to stay up, and I thought maybe, back and forth would be like a 2-2, but, we just finally we got a goal on the break to make it 3-1, and then the game was over after that with the deflection Spencer goal. And Ipswich are in trouble now because obviously Wolves won away to Bournemouth, who had 10 men. But it's like, it doesn't really change much for me, really. I'm going to say this and think, Ange is the answer, because I've seen already enough evidence to show me it is not the answer. And, like I said, I praised Dan Sarr. I thought it was really good. Kulusevski was good. Ben Cole was good. But this is not something, these wins are not wins where I see and I think, wow, this manager's doing something different from everyone else. Like, this is just wins that the last 17 or 18 managers we've had at the club have done. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So for me, 3 wins in a row, and I'm happy. We're going to get enough points to stay up. I don't see us going down now. But do I see this as a turning point? No. I just see it for me as proof that we didn't really have the so-called squad to contend in 4 competitions that Ange was claiming he was happy about. Because now we're not, suddenly, because we're having weeks in between, we're finally starting to pick up something. We're starting to beat some teams that we should be beating. We should have been beating like flipping 6 months ago. Still obviously Levy out, because beating Ipswich doesn't mean I'm going to suddenly change my mind on Levy. And Ange out because, like I just said, apart from the fact he's not doing anything special, it just kind of proves he's kind of a liar, really. But anyway, and come on, you Spurs, of course. Come on, you Spurs. That's the bigger picture.